Even if you've never designed anything before, your perfect piano studio logo is just a few easy to follow steps away. Let me walk you through the process using only free online tools and a bit of smart research. Hey, if we haven't met yet, I'm Phoenix and I'm the Tattooed Piano Teacher, and I'm here to help new piano teachers start their profitable business and a new rewarding career. Before we get started designing our logo, you're definitely going to need to know the name of your business. If you have not settled on a name for your piano studio business quite yet, then hop over to this video or click the link in the description, figure that out first, and then come back to this video to design your logo. And if you already know what your business name is, then perfect, let's get started. Let's talk about what makes a good piano studio logo. First of all, it's simple. A simple logo will be easier to read in any size, easier to reformat for different platforms, and just better overall. Number 2, a good logo is eye-catching. We're gonna use contrast and simple forms and fonts to make our logo simple and eye-catching. And then the third is that it tells your brand story. So this is where you really get to shine when you're picking your colors, when you're picking your fonts, and the style of your logo. It really should reflect the type of business and the type of brand that you want to set forth into the world. Great, so you know what makes a good logo and you're ready to get started. Let's hop over to my desk and start designing your logo.
We're going to start by picking the colors for your piano studio logo. So come with me to coolers.co. Okay, so on Coolers, you can click Start the Generator and you can start browsing palettes right away. Hit the space bar to generate random palettes, and then you can customize them from there. So I suggest browsing until you find something that resonates with you. Let's say that you really like this sea green color. You can lock that one in, but you don't want this raisin black on there. You can take that away. Now, if we want 4 colors, but we want to customize the rest of these 3, then I'm going to continue hitting spacebar, and it will suggest matching colors for my sea green. When I find one I like, I can lock that in too and keep scrolling. This is so fun. I could literally do this all day. Okay, let's say I settle on this one with the charcoal and the Silver Lake blue, and I like that. I could go ahead and export this and save it as my color palette. But I'm going to show you another way to generate a color palette. If you go up to Tools, you can also go off of an image. So if you find something that is the aesthetic you want for your brand colors, you can start with an image, upload it, and then pick your colors from there. Or if we click Explore Palettes, we can look at trending color palettes and just find one that just speaks to us and is the right vibe for our brand. Now, I want to encourage you to choose your colors wisely and not just pick your very favorite colors or the colors that you would paint your walls if you could have whatever you wanted in life. The colors for your brand, it's an important decision. So you want to make sure that the colors are portraying the sort of brand vibe that you want to portray and attracting the kind of customers that you want to attract. So check out this list of colors and their meanings and think about one central color whose description speaks to you based on these descriptions, and then you can base your palette around that. Now, you might not totally love any of these colors because these are true colors, but now check this out. We can add a shade to any color and produce a variation. So although you can just go with a color palette generated on coolers.co, if you want to get a little more thoughtful about it, then pick a color whose description speaks to you and then pick a shade of that color and make that your starting point. Okay, but let's go back to the trending color palettes. Let's say I really like these sort of oceany colors right here. I don't want to make any adjustments. I'm just going to save that. Ooh, that looks nice. I like that. Okay, so we are going to export this as a PDF. Now, you can use these other types of exportations. Is that a word? Exportations? But I like the PDF because it's something I can open up on my desktop, save as my brand colors, and then I can copy the codes from there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and save this to my desktop just as my brand colors. And there we go. These codes right here are what we're going to enter into our logo later on. So that's exactly what we're going to need. Now go ahead and create a free account on Coolers if you'd like to, and you can come back and play around with these colors later on and maybe find some variations. Be sure to save this palette once you are logged in. Okay, next we are going to start creating your logo by browsing some pre-existing logo templates on canva.com. Free Canva account will work just fine for this project, although if you do have a pro account, that will help even more. Go to create a design, and you might even see logo right away. If you don't, you can enter a custom size. There we go. So now logo came up. It's 500 by 500 pixels is what we want. The reason we want to go with the standard pixel size is because then we are going to get all these possible templates. So go ahead and start scrolling. None of these are going to be perfect, and that's okay because we are going to customize. But I want you to scroll through and just look for something that has a look that catches your eye, is simple enough to attract attention, but will be eye-catching enough to tell your brand story quickly to a potential customer. Anything you see with the crown means it's only available with the Pro account, but there are plenty of free templates to choose from. So let's say I'm digging the simplicity of this black and white logo. Actually, it's kind of like a gray color, and I like the very simple font, and maybe we'll change this out, but so far this is giving me the right vibe. I want something that's very modern. So that's what we're going to go with as our template. So go ahead and choose whatever template you would like to start with. And just remember, we can customize everything from the icons to the colors to the fonts to the words. The first thing we're going to do to customize is to change the actual text to your business name. Okay, it's looking good already. Our next step is to customize any icons, designs, or pictures on your Piano Studio logo. Now, if your Piano Studio logo is just text, then you can skip this step. So I'm going to go to Elements. All right, so let's search for an element that might be more music related. I want a graphic because a photo or a video is just not going to work for a logo. No, that's not giving me the right vibes. So music notes, that's all right. I'm kind of liking this because it looks like a cityscape and it also looks like music. One little hack on Canva, if you're a Mac user, if you hold down the Command key and then you move something, you can literally move it wherever you want. When you don't have that held down, it'll lock into place. So like if I wanted it in between these two locking portions, I would be getting very frustrated. But if I hold down the Command key, now I can put it exactly where I want it. So that's probably, I don't know, the Control key on a PC? I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm looking kind of off-centered here, so I'm gonna try something. If I hold down the Shift key while clicking on all of my elements, one by one, so I was holding down the Shift key that entire time. Now when I lift off the Shift key, it gives me the option to group these elements. So I'm gonna go ahead and group them. So now they're gonna move together, and now Canva will let me center them. I like that. The other thing you can do when everything is grouped together is you can change the size of everything at the same time. If you want the ratio to stay the same, but you don't want to resize everything one by one. Now I will say you want a little bit of white space on your logo. Like I wouldn't want to do this. I don't like that there's no room on the sides. In the context of like a website or something else, there's a good chance that that might look not as eye-catching because our eyes like to see that blank space. Now, if I want to change just one of these, like if I wanted to move just one of these elements, I can ungroup them, and now they're all separate. Okay, next we're going to incorporate your brand colors into the design. Okay, so now you're going to find the brand colors PDF file that you saved. I'm going to make this smaller so I can look at it while I'm looking at my logo. Now think about what's your darkest color, what's your lightest color, and what is your most vivid color, like I would probably pick this one, and then what's a complementary color to that. Now don't go crazy with the colors on your logo. Yes, I have 5 colors here, you may have more or less, but on a logo, we only want 2 colors, maybe 3, no more than 3 for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go like this so I can work in both places at once. I'm gonna see what it looks like if I make the background of my logo this beige color, because it's not too far off. So I double clicked on the hex code and then I'm going to copy it. You can copy it like this, right click, copy, or you can do Command C on a Mac, and I believe it's Control C on a PC. So now I'll click on the element I want to change the color of, which in this case is the background color. Click on this square up here, and then I'm going to paste or Command V, my beige color. You see the hex code is the same. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make the Cream City part of my brand name the darkest color. Copy, here's the text color, paste, there it is. That's our hex code. Okay, do we like that? I don't know. I might wanna change that back to black. Since this is kind of a gray color right now, I'm gonna make this that dark. And I like that the Cream City is the stark black, so it really stands out. No matter what your color palette is, by the way, white and black are always an option. Let's see some elements you can change the color of. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this one of these greenish colors and play around with it a little bit. I'm gonna try this light color and see how this looks. Interesting. Okay, that might be too light. In fact, I might want to make that color, that sea foam color, the background color in one of my versions of the logo. So let's go with the next darkest color. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit darker. Now let's see if the established, that might look good in this next darkest color. Let's find out. I always like to click off of it, you know, so I can see it without those purple boxes around it. Okay, now is where I would start to play around with some color variations. What if my background was just white? Or what if this was the darkest color? I like that these match, that's good. Maybe I want to try another one with this. Now that it's white, I could make this the second darkest color. So you can really just start to have fun and see what you can come up with. But remember to keep it simple and keep contrast in your logo. Next, it's time to customize the fonts of your Piano Studio logo. All right, I'm gonna go back to my original version and I'm gonna pick the biggest font first. So right now it's set at Montserrat Classic. If you look up here, you're going to see some options for different types of fonts. Because Canva has a lot of fonts, so you want to narrow it down by type. So these are great suggestions already, and you might try just clicking on some of these to see what comes up. So you can also type something into the search bar. So let's say that you want something that conveys like a fun environment. Let's say you want something that's like a script font, or if you want something that's like a bold font or like a handwriting font. So just kind of type in the first thing that comes to your mind and then see what it comes up with. This button right here will change it from all uppercase to lowercase. In that case, I like that font in the lowercase better, but I don't want to use that font, I don't think. So start with your biggest words of your font and then go to the smaller and the smaller. Again, the ones with the crown next to them are only available to you if you have Canva Pro. Okay, I really like that. If you have Canva Pro, you can save your colors and your preferred fonts for future use, which is really nice. If you have the free version, then you might want to start some sort of document just keeping track of the fonts that you end up liking so that you can easily access them. Because like I said, Canva has a lot of fonts. Once you've settled on your fonts, Canva allows you to change all of your fonts for all the pages at the same time. Click the Change All button to change all Montserrat Classic to this graffiti font in one click. Now every page and variation of my design has the same font. Now I want to mention as well that you don't want to go too crazy with the fonts. In fact, if you use the same font for your entire logo, that's actually probably a good thing. I went a little crazy because I used 3 separate fonts. However, this one and this one are very similar, and then this one is just kind of unique. So I would say stick to 1 or 2 fonts, 3 if you can make it work without it looking too busy. Okay, it is time to celebrate because you, my friend, have your logo design. If at this point you're not totally loving it, then I suggest go ahead and make sure that this version's saved, and then just go back to your homepage and start all over again from scratch, and then you can tab back and forth and decide which one you like the best. If you absolutely love the logo that you came up with, great. We are gonna go ahead and make a bunch of different versions of it. Now we already kind of did this here, but I want you to copy or duplicate your logo a few different times, and I want you to make different variations of the square logo. I definitely recommend at least having one where the background is light and the image and text is dark, and then one that goes the other way around. So I'm gonna show you what my little logo is gonna look like. Since all of these are pretty dark colors, I'm gonna group them all together, and I'm gonna make them all a light color. And then I'm gonna make the background black. Okay, now I could go ahead and play around with my brand colors again because I don't have to keep all of this white, although that looks really good. Like that would make a nice t-shirt. Maybe I should start this music studio. But let's say I wanted to try to make that the green color. Let's see how that looks. So make sure you have at least one light with dark and one dark with light, and then play around and make variations of that as you'd like to. Then you can have one that's like more colorful, kind of like a middle of the road. So one that where the background is your brand color. So I guess this is probably the closest thing I have right now. Make one that is dark text and image against a transparent background. So we're just gonna make it white. And if you have Canva Pro, you can actually save it as a transparent background. If not, that's okay. You can remove the background in a couple of different ways. So just make it white for now. Now, if you do have Canva Pro, I'm going to suggest you do one more thing, but this step will not work with the free account. Duplicate the page, the one where you have the light colored text, and then make your background white. Even though you cannot see the elements, they are still there and they are white as well. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna save this one as a transparent background, which you can only do if you have the Canva Pro. And that's gonna go on any place you want white text against a background, but you want it to have a transparent background. Again, don't stress out if you don't have the Pro account and you can't do this. You can get by without it on your website and on business cards and on t-shirts, whatever else you want to do. It's just nice to have this option for certain projects. So if you can, go ahead and do that. That's all the square logos that I would make. So we're going to be resizing our logo. If you have Canva Pro, this is a one-click deal, but if you have the free account, there's actually a workaround where you can make this happen without the resizing feature, which is a pro-only feature. So let's go ahead and resize our logo to these sizes. We're gonna make a general use horizontal size logo, 400 by 100 pixels. We're gonna make a really nice Facebook cover size logo, a nice long banner that's 851 by 315 pixels. And then we're also going to make an itty bitty little fave icon. I don't know how to say that. Favicon. Anyways, that's what you see up on the top of the browser tabs. And so we're gonna custom make a fave icon for you. I really wish I knew how to say that. If anyone knows how to say that, please let me know in the comments. So if you have Canva Pro, you're simply going to click on this resize button right here. And then we are going to custom size. Do our 400 by 100 pixels first. Continue, it'll show you a picture of it. it will look pretty terrible, but you're gonna click resize anyways and then open. Okay, now everything is in the wrong place, but fear not, we are going to fix it. Canva doesn't do a great job of placing things when you switch sizes. So let me show you how to do this if you do not have the Pro account. So with your tab open with your square logo, you're gonna go back to the home page and create a brand new project with the custom size of 400 by 100. Now what we're going to do is you're just going to hold down the left button on your mouse or trackpad and you're going to drag it across to select all of the elements on your logo. And then you can click group and then you can copy it. Don't click duplicate because that would just duplicate it on this page. We want to copy it. So I'm pressing Command C on my keyboard, or you can right click and select copy. Now go over to your new design, the long narrow one, and you can right click and select paste, or you can use the shortcut Command V on a Mac. Okay, now it doesn't copy the background, which is fine because that's just a set background that is a color. So if I wanted this particular color, then if you hover over it, see it's showing me the hex code, or I can click on it and it's automatically highlighted. I could copy that and then click on the background, go to the color palette for the background color, and then I'm going to paste that hex code in there, and there's my background color. I'm gonna center my elements, and that doesn't look too bad, but remember what I said about empty space? But I'm gonna go ahead and ungroup them because they can't move together any longer. They have to be separated. I think I'm gonna make this element a little bit smaller. You know what? I have an idea, and I'm gonna double my skyline or maybe even triple it. So there's my horizontal kind of general use logo that I could use on my website or whatever. Now I want to make a few different versions of this one too. So I could do that by duplicating it and then playing around with the colors, or I could duplicate it, erase everything, and then copy it over from another one of these. So whatever you think would be easier. I don't know what would be easier. It depends on how much you had to move things around. I changed the background. If you didn't have to move things around too much, then that would probably be the easiest way. Okay, now let's create another size if you want to do Facebook. If you don't, you might be able to skip this step. Okay, so what happens if I go like this, copy, paste. The banner, you don't have to make a million different versions. Just make one version you like, you're good to go. And then remember I mentioned the favicon. Okay, that we are going to make. Okay, there we go. 40 by 40 is the smallest one you can make, and that's what we want to do. So we are creating, like, see, Canva has the C, or Coolers has also a different C that looks very similar, suspiciously. My website, so this is my favicon. So this is my little lightning bolt in my brand colors, and this is my horizontal logo that I've created, and this is another version of it. So you can see how having different versions is helpful. And then I have the version that I put on those. There's also a circular version, which is not on this website, so we're not gonna worry about that. But anyways, that's what we're looking for. So we're gonna make ours a square, and here's what you don't wanna do. You don't wanna just copy and paste onto your tiny little square, because this would look so dumb right here. You see how simple it has to be because it's so tiny. So honestly, you know what we could do? I mean, that's adorable, but that's not gonna work. Literally no one is gonna be able to read any of that. So I have a couple different ideas for you. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of those because I know I'm not gonna use those. So one idea is, I'm just gonna move this down temporarily because I wanna use it in a second. If you have some sort of element, like a picture or a design element on your logo, like my lightning bolt, That's what I used. So if I wanted to use like this skyscraper idea, let's see, I'm gonna crop it to just be like a few of the rows, you know, like that. Sure. And then I'll make that like the entire thing. See, that's kind of cute. I like that. And if I use that on every single version of my logo, then that could be like a recognizable part of my branding. Okay, if you don't like that idea, the other thing I would do is take the main part of your name, like the most recognizable part. So in this case, we're gonna make that the C in this like funky graffiti brand color and font. And then I could make like that, it kind of looks like a play button. Ooh, I really like that. And I like this color against the black. It's very graphic. Or I could make this black and then make the background white or something like that. But make it just like the most stupid, simple little element from your logo. And that's gonna be what pops up here on your browser. So you're definitely gonna want that if you're creating a website. Like you have to have it. You have to. I implore you. Okay, that's all the versions of the logo that we are gonna make. Now we have to save everything. To save something, you're gonna go up here to share, and then to download, you are going to save everything as either a JPEG or a PNG. PNGs are bigger files, but they have a crisper look to them. Because this is our tiny little icon that's gonna be minuscule on the top of the browser, and we don't wanna take up too much space on your website, we're gonna save this one as a JPEG. Go ahead and just click download. And then your bigger logos, you really want these to be as crisp as possible, especially if you happen to make them bigger in any context. So when I hit download, I'm gonna go ahead and save these as a PNG. Go ahead and name it and save it. Now, if you have a Canva Pro account, you do have one more option, and that is you can download it as an SVG, which is a file that is used in web design so that when you resize it, it doesn't lose any of the quality. However, that is a pro feature only. Another pro feature that I mentioned earlier was if you want to save something with a transparent background, like this page 4 here. So let's say I have a Canva Pro account and I want to save this. So there are elements here and they're white, we just can't see them. I want to save this version as a transparent background, and I don't care about the other pages at this very moment. So let me show you how to do that. Click the share, click the download, make sure it's on PNG, and then click transparent background, which once again is only an option for you if you have a Canva Pro account. And right now it defaults to all pages. So I'm going to select current page only, page 4, or you could scroll down and find the one you want and then click done. If I put that against a black background, then I'm going to see the white letters against a transparent background. So whatever background I put it on is the color that it will be behind the letters, which is great for certain contexts. And actually that is what I did with my logo right here. This is black text and image with a transparent background so that when I placed it against this blue header, it did not have like an awkward square of white or something like that around it. With the transparent background, it just looks like it's meant to be on that background.
So hopefully you have the perfect Piano Studio logo in all of the formats that you're going to need for the next step. If you haven't already signed up for my email challenge, click the link in the description. Start your studio in 30 days. This is everything you're gonna need to do to get set up for a profitable business and a successful first lesson. Designing your logo is just one step in 12 actionable steps that I'm going to send you through email. It's totally free, so click the link below to sign up for that. And next on our list is we're going to build a website. This is going to be the perfect backdrop for your business to tell your brand story, to attract customers, and not to mention the perfect place to put your new logo. I hope to see you on the next video.